Alright, I guess we get started now before ever. Anyways. Hello, I'm Debo. We're going to be doing a gameplay of our playthrough, or a guide playthrough of Kingdom Hearts HD Dream Drop Distance. This is the game that was released originally on the 3DS, and then a couple years later, or about, I think it's about 3 to 4 years later, at about the time it is, the game has been out, they decided to redo it on the PS4, HD of course. And they put that along with the compilation of also Dream Drop Distance, I'm sorry, not Dream Drop Distance, what am I trying to say? Well, fuck it, hold on. Let me just do this. Alright. There we go, I got it set up now. Hello, my name's Debo. Welcome to the guide walkthrough for Kingdom Hearts HD Dream Drop Distance. This game was originally released on Game Boy Advance, or I'm sorry, not Game Boy Advance, Nintendo 3DS a couple years back. They remade it, put it on the PS4, adapted everything inside the game, and put it for this platform. The whole game, which is Kingdom Hearts HD, or Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8, Final Chapter Prologue, also has a movie that happens before the prequel, Birth by Sleep, and also has a nice little side adventure with Aqua, which takes place between the prequel, Birth by Sleep, and Kingdom Hearts 1, that gives a little bit more background on what's going on. So we're going to go ahead and take you into some of the basics of the game, and then we're going to move directly into worlds. For the whole entire guide, we're just going to basically break it down by world, and of course we're going to do the Riku and then the Sora playthrough. And then we're going to just pretty much just do that all the way through the game, so you guys can avoid some frustration, learn about the basics, and see what setups I use to get through the game. So we're going to go ahead and start a new game. If you already beat the game before, you can carry your spirits, but we're going to do a fresh run-through. So we're going to hit no. And we're going to just go ahead and do a regular standard run-through. Proud mode's a little bit more difficult. This is your difficult mode, and then of course critical mode is where anytime you take an attack, you're pretty much set to critical. And we're going to keep the vibration setting on, and we're going to keep the subtitles. So, no spirits carry over. Game mode, vibration on, subtitles. We'll be skipping through all the cutscenes and the skip scenes, just so we can keep the game focused on just what we do to beat the levels. If you guys like to see the full cutscenes and everything like that, you guys can always check out my blind playthrough, which showed all the cutscenes and everything and what have you not. Plus, a lot of people already know the storyline. It's been out for a while. It's no surprise to nobody, but it is a nice release for the PS4.
A storm
because a lot of people didn't have 3DSs, and they didn't really want to purchase that game to play Kingdom Hearts. So traditional Kingdom Hearts games are pretty straightforward with the square button used to roll and do all your action move attacks. X is for the attack, circle is for the jump. Triangles utilized to use your commands for either whatever you do inside your deck list. And then, of course, if you hold the square button, you can actually deflect attacks if you hit it at the right moment. So, if you time it at the right moment and push the square button, you'll deflect an attack. A dodge roll, which is, like I said, square and either to the right or left, will make it easily so you can dodge any attacks. Of course, the game is pretty important with the timing. You just can't really be sloppy about it. You actually kind of have to make sure you land it at the right time. The system in general has a little bit in relation to if you play Kingdom Hearts 1.5 Chain of Memories with the deck for all your different magic and potions that you want to use. And it also adds a different element with the pet system where you can have up to 2 allies with you in battle of your choosing, depending on you craft them or however you build them, and they level up with you, and they also provide you permanent stats when they level up and get their skills. And Riku's just kind of sitting there, but the fight is over. The game isn't too difficult The only problems that I found when I first was playing through this first playthrough, or when I was playing through the game, was just getting used to the pet system, understanding what's important, what's not, how often should I be switching out, how am I getting, like, you know, extra stats or extra combo slashes or getting, you know, extra attacks and different things like that. Because traditionally with the Kingdom Hearts games, the way they were done was you would have a weapon, you would have your accessory, you would have all your different skills, and as you level up, you unlock them. It's pretty straightforward, but you unlock a lot of the attack ups, the skill ups, the extra rolls, and the abilities and things that you get through getting them through items and equipping them through your deck, also unlocking them through the pet system. At the beginning of every world you just enter, you start a dive stage. It's pretty straightforward. It tells you what you need to do. Rack up 600 prize points. So in this situation, when you rack up prize points, you just grab the prizes, you just grab the stars, and that's about it. And as long as you once you get enough points, and it will proceed on to taking you to the world. The quicker you do it, the better grade you get. The X button's used for, of course, diving strike. Deflecting is in case you just want attacks to be deflected. Of course, aerial brake is for certain situations where you slow back and you stop yourself from accelerating. But like I said, there's really nothing too difficult about it. It's all pretty straightforward stuff. This kind of replaces the whole gummy ship, building and crafting levels that came from the original Kingdom Hearts. I kind of prefer the gummy ship. I thought it was more entertaining, but like I said, this is just kind of like extra further content of what you do in between worlds. And once you meet the objective, either by killing the boss or whatever the objective is, then it'll just basically take you to the world that you're actually going to. And the first town we're going to start off with is like how most things go, is in Traverse Town. So we got to obtain Spike Spark Drive, which is something we'll be able to equip for one of the attacks that we have. And we're just going to go ahead and skip the cutscene. If you'd like to go through the tutorials and how it explains everything with the flow motion basis, you can, but I'm going to go over it roughly as soon as we get control of Sora. The flow motion controls are something different for this game. Flow motion controls when you use a square button next to a certain object or wall. Flora will turn pink. And depending on how you hit the button or move the joystick, you can do different commands. Like basically, if you hit a square in the opposite direction, then followed by X, he does a drill attack that holds onto the enemy, followed by a diving AoE splash. Another one you can do is a square into a jump, into an X, which draws like an AoE slash to everybody. The major one that you're going to be using a lot, that it comes very useful, is the square into X, and then of course that's it. It makes it really hard for enemies that hit you when you do that. Sometimes I do use the one where you jump up and you just do the additional slam on the ground. That works out okay. There are certain objects you can interact with, like if you hit square next to a pole, he'll do a pole spin. And then if you follow that up with an X, he'll do like an AoE spell and into additional, or AoE slash into additional AoE whirlwind slash. You also can jump up in the air and then just do the traditional landing, or even take it to the next level if I can do it here. And you can bounce and jump to higher levels. You can also use the motion controls to simply keep tapping square and circle. This is something that it took me a while to learn, and the reason why I'm making sure I go over this now is because this is probably one of the most important mechanics of the game to prevent frustration. Because when I first got into this game, I really had a hard time with the movement, but after you do and fight so many enemies, it's really not that much of a problem. So like I said, if you need to spend some time just practicing the movements and getting very used to the system, I highly recommend it. It will make your life a lot easier. And I always take advantage if you have a wall next to you to use the dive attack, because it really does help a lot. So we're going to go ahead and go into our items and Keyblades. As you beat worlds, you get additional Keyblades that you can equip to your character, and they tell you to the extent of what they do. Item stock, of course, is what the items you have in possession. As you can see here, they have key items. They have the Kingdom Key, the Dream Pieces, which is used for crafting and making certain monsters, and then or making your pets, and then training toys that help your pets level up and what have you not, or unlock certain skills. The abilities is what you unlock from your pets. Normally Kingdom Hearts used to have things like, you know, when you level up you get plus attack and HP, and that kind of happens in this game, but you get additional bonus stats from when you unlock things on your pet spirit board. We'll get into that in a little bit once we actually get our first pet. At any time you can see the stats of your set and what's going on. And then of course your reports and your config of everything that's happened before. But that's pretty much it so far. So before we worry about anything, we're going to go ahead and progress the storyline on so we can get our first pet. Well, of course, you got the save point here. You can save at any point. Whenever you see that, you get healed and you can save immediately. Reality shift, I'll go ahead and explain that when we get to that situation. Every world has different reality shifts executed by triangle and circle. So whenever you see this object on bosses, enemies, or certain situations, if you hit triangle and circle, it will do a reality shift, in which then you can move around and interact with the object, and then if you position it at the right place, and you hit the X button, it will perform an effect. You can do this in the middle of combat. If you end up killing an enemy through it, you get extra drops to help you raise more pets. Isn't really a necessary thing. The only time I use it is when I have to use the phase shift or whatever to actually trigger a certain event. So unless I have to, like in other levels, you have to do this command or you have to do this ability and then maybe land, like, you know, or interact with another object to progress onward. Other than that, you really don't need to use it in battle. But, I mean, if you want to use it, I mean, that's up to you, and that's really not a problem. So, I do believe this is the first time we're going to start seeing the Dream Eaters.
Catch your name.
They're going to provide us, hopefully, a pet. So, we're going to skip this. So, we're going to check off the Dream Eaters. And like I said, my favorite attack is just simply just ricochet out the wall, into X, into the diving swoop. It does good damage, and like I said, it makes it hard for the enemies to hit you. And then, of course, we can always go through our abilities by hitting triangle, but we'll be able to get to change those pretty soon, so I look forward to that. We can use the reality shift, pick him up when they get low, and then drop them on enemies if you like to do so. And that's just one example of, like, you know, the phase shift or whatever it's called. When you see the enemies get like that, you hit triangle, circle, and you can activate whatever it allows you to do. Some bosses required in order to defeat them. So that's pretty much about it.
They're Dream Eaters.
So that's a Dream Eater. You're going to be able to have two with inside of a party. We're going to go ahead and skip that. I'm just going to give you the straight rundown. In all honesty, you only really maybe need to go through 2 to 3 sets. Like you get your first 2 Dream Eaters, then you get another 2, and then you can do another 2. And usually by that time you're probably towards the end of the game. You can try to level up a bunch of different ones, but I really advise just to focus on the ones that you have. Your first set of ones will just be great. You want to fill out their boards, get all the extra stats they'll give you, and then once they max out, then you want to go ahead and switch to another 2 sets and just proceed onward. You don't want to really waste too much time trying to level up each individual one. I usually, through my first playthrough, wouldn't go through more than 4 to 6. 6 at the most. But this is just my opinion. If you want to level up and do extra things, that's totally up to you. So we're going to go into spirits. We're going to go ahead and create one. You can create spirits by 2 ways: by using it custom, by going to custom and just selecting a bunch of ingredients, and at the 3 bottom circles right there, it would actually tell you what you could produce. So if you had a bunch of random ingredients and it showed 3 different or 2 different monsters, it will tell you the percentage of it being one of those monsters. So you could have 2 monsters being down there. If it said 50%, 50%, that means using the ingredients that you're using to make this spirit can result in a 50% chance of making this one or this one. So whenever you see 2 different monsters or more than one, it has a chance of being randomly between one of those 2. But we're going to go ahead and just choose a recipe. The recipe will tell you what's going on. If you use more materials, like the game says, requires you can create spirits with a higher level of rank than usual. That's kind of usually why I like to do it. So they start at a higher level and just have a better quality. They're higher quality. You can use one of your sacrifice commands, like it says, to get the spirit stat boosts. Various types of bonuses are available. So basically, when you stock up your commands and different things like that, when you use it for your spirit, they will get a stat boost that applies to when they're fighting and what have you not. So, we're going to go ahead and use the Rampant Fragment. We're just going to go ahead and put it up to 5. And then we got Vibrant Fragment. We're going to put that up, and that ranks it up to D. And then for our command, what we're going to do is go ahead and use a potion. And what that's going to do is give it 5 HP. We're going to go ahead and create the spirit. And this applies to anyone. And then actually throughout the game, you find recipes and you find different things that allow you to make more spirits. So, tells you everything. Give your spirit a new name. I don't call this guy Meow Meow. I always call him Derp, because I think Derp is a good name. And we'll give him a little chibi crazy face next to his name. Alright. That's it. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and go through this real quick. This is the bonding of your spirit with your pets. You hold down the X button. You can either use the sensor button to move left and right to heal them. Or not heal them, but make them happy and pet them. Or you can use the left analog stick to move up and down to pet them as well. Or you can use the X just to basically simply pet them. But you see the commands there. You can poke it, and then with the X, and then of course the camera controls. That really doesn't really matter. So we're gonna pet, and he gets experience and little plus and stuff. The biggest thing is you want them to get LP points. LP points is what lets you unlock skills on their skill board, which skills that permanently transfer over to you. So, and the more you pet them, the more affection they get, the higher the affection rate when you actually use games to train them and get them more skills and stuff like that. Then what actually happens is that they're actually shining, they get more points from any of the activities that you do with them, at least from my run through. So we're going to go to menu, we look at the ability link. These are all the stats that this, the Dream Eater has. So as you see, this has Link Critical, and a bunch of different skills, so we're going to go ahead and lock that. So now Sora will actually have that skill. So as you can see, they got HP boost, fire boost, blizzard boost, and that yellow circle signifies that you are able to train that skill on one of your pets, and that transfers over to you. So as it says, special abilities can be learned and activated, which boost your stats or unlock new moves. Abilities are obtained from spirits, so that's why spirits are so important. Most abilities you can be activated at any time, which is true. Stat boosting abilities require that spirits you obtain them stay in your party. So yeah, pretty much until you actually get that ability or whatever have you not, it just has to stay in your party. You know, if your basic attacks and spirit attack connect at the same time, both attacks will probably send your opponent's flying. It really doesn't happen too much a lot for me. And then of course Link Critical will give your Link gauge a huge boost. And there's your Link boards, creating spirit, nurturing the game, blah 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 blah. It's pretty straightforward. So we're just going to go back into the spirits just real quick so I can show you what I'm talking about though. So we're going to go to spirits, ability link system. And as you can see, grants you the combat shown cure. This one grants you the ability shown magic haste. So you can kind of see like boost your items strong. So it's important just to remember this. You want to clear the board out and get everything. Right here I see left leaf bracer, that's the ability you get. Once you reach a certain level and you open lock this, and you can finally get the last one, which provides you Cure Aga. So basically, completing all the stuff through Derp, you can immediately go ahead and get Cure Aga that you can add to your deck list. So it's very important to basically focus on your pets and just try to, you know, get these stats unlocked because they'll transfer with the sword, and that's basically what you want to do. And the only thing left I have to say is about the command deck. Now with the command deck, if you guys play Chain of Memories, there's a certain amount of commands you go through that go on cooldown. You don't use mana in this game, your abilities just go on cooldown. So for instance, if you look at our command deck, we have fire, we have blizzard, and we have fire. So he'll use blizzard, he'll use fire, then he'll use quit blitz, or let's say he has to heal himself, put on a potion. Items can be used multiple times right away. There is no cooldown for items, but you can only bring so many items into a battle. Potions are 6, and I think high potions are 4, and some other really good items are only 2. So I really don't use items. I'd rather take an additional cure spell, because there's no offense to items, it's just that if I can only bring so many into battle, what's the point? So we're going to go ahead and edit the deck out. You can select whatever skills you want and place them however you want. If you'd like to edit them directly and switch things around, you could push left on the D-pad and push right to put it back to wherever you want to go. So I usually like to put my commands first, like my action commands, followed by a couple spells, and then whatever I'm using for healing. Blizzard's okay. Spark Dive is actually really good, so we're going to use that. So Quick Blitz, Spark Drive, Fire will be fine, and then we have 1 potion. As the game progresses on, of course, you get more slots, and then of course you hit R2 for your actual abilities and stuff like that, blocks or things that you add to the certain abilities that you have. You're just going to basically be equipping him for action commands. Action commands are things that you actually do in battle. Riku and Sora both have their own. Like Riku has his version of a double jump, Sora has the ability to glide, so later on when you get certain abilities, you equip them here, and should be able to use them inside of battle. You can go ahead and use switch decks. You can have extra decks that you want, so you can switch back to other ones and not have to worry about that, but that's up to you. I usually just stick with 1 deck through the entire game and just swap it out when I need it. And then, of course, you can get your command list and see all the different abilities and things that you have on your character. And that's pretty much about it for right now. So, one thing, if you hit the menu button on the PS4 controller, it will show where you need to go. The key that's on the screen is basically where you are at when you first entered this area. The pink areas actually are places you zone out of. The reason why it shows that little key like that is to let you know from what position you came onto map. So we came in through this pink area towards the bottom, right around here. If you see my little mouse, we're just basically going to go right or go ahead of us and down to the corner and go out the other way, and it usually always tells you your objective, what you have to do. So the only thing we have to do is go after Neku. It's pretty straightforward. I'd advise to fight any battles that you get along the way. That's just a safe way to do it. To give you guys an idea, I fought every single battle that came around to me, and I still was under-leveled for the end of the game, but it still wasn't too bad because I had plenty of magic where I was able to just do fine. Once that pink meter builds up on your pet so much, you can hit L2 and then hit the whatever different commands, and the links will basically allow you to do a special attack of your pet. When you get a secondary pet, their second ability will be, or their ability will be on circle, and then once you get so many levels up with the pets, then you can use a combination ability that utilizes both pets, but of course both pets must have their bar filled up.
I brought you Sora.
So we're going to go ahead and skip the scene. Like I said, you can watch my other blind playthrough if you want to hit the actual storyline of the game. Here comes Riku. Now, normally through the game, you can just play all the way through and not have to worry about it, but the game at certain times do switch your characters out. But once you get more into the game, you can control who you want to keep in before you have to switch out by utilizing an item, but we'll explain that once we get to it. So, the only thing we have to do is collect the 300 points. Oop, and then Riku will be able to get into Traverse Town. So basically the idea is you go to a world, Sora and Riku both go to this world, and you basically complete every world with both characters. So Sora and Riku are on different sides of the Dream World dimension. I'm going to try to keep this as simple as possible. Picture that each world has 2 different each world has like 2 different viewpoints. Sora, or different dimensions, as weird as this is going to sound. Sora's on one side, Riku's on one side. So, as you play through the game, you might notice certain things happen because Riku's on the other side doing it, or Sora's doing it, or, you know, however, vice versa. So, you basically only complete a world when Riku and Sora both complete it, and then you move on. That's usually the best way I suggest it. So, once you beat Traverse Town, switch to Riku. Once you beat the Traverse Town with Sora, you switch to Riku, then you beat it with a Riku, and then you move on. This makes sure that you're getting levels, the right amount of items, you're farming up, You can actually just keep playing one character as long as you can. They have this meter called the dream drop distance, or the dream meter. I don't know the actual terminology of it is, but unless you have an item to make that meter goes up, when that meter depletes, it forces you to switch to the other character, which is not really a big deal, because when that happens, you can swap back. You don't really want to do that though, because once if you choose to switch to the other character, then you could bring an extra bunch of stats and boost to your character normally that you couldn't do. So if, say for instance, Sora's meter depleted all the way and it said, well, okay, you're going to dream drop, you got to switch back to Riku, I can use all these different stats and give all these extra bonuses to Riku when I go over to Riku and play him, which is fantastic. But if I were to not actually play through Riku for a while and naturally switch back to Sora, if I were to immediately switch back to him, you'll lose a lot of stats. It seems a little pretty weird right now, but it will make more sense when it actually occurs. Okay. So usually I just start the round off using all my different abilities, or basically using my action commands off the walls and doing all my damage until all my abilities come off cooldown, because usually when you start the fight you have to wait for your abilities to come off cooldown. We're going to substitute out sliding dash. We're going to have we'll keep that. We'll get the quick blitz. Instead of sleep, I don't recommend that. Fire or blizzard is fine, and of course you want to have your potion. Then you hit the menu button, and it says, okay, go after Joshua. If you guys notice there's a pink spear up there, it actually gives you different challenges that you can do. And if you meet these challenges, they give you bonuses, money, different things like that. So whenever you have a chance to do them, I would just say you might as well do them. If it's something that you see that's annoying, then I wouldn't bother. This one says, brawls these spirits. The spirits will return home after a certain amount of time. We'll just go ahead and say yes. Whenever you get these type of portals, basically, they give you 2 additional pets that you can get instantly right away. Later on, I don't even bother using it, but for now, we might as well.
Joshua.
We're going to skip that scene and keep it moving. There we just got a recipe to make a bat, which is something we're going to make right now. So it says try create a new spirit. We go to create spirit. And the game's going to make us use recipes to create your spirit of your choice. You can go here. And then, you know, you can use more stats and more things if you want. That's up to you. But we're going to go ahead and make them. We're going to go ahead and just give them a potion, give them extra HP. Hit OK. Hit yes. We're really not going to worry about the spirits upgrading their stats and abilities until we beat Traverse Town. Then we'll go into detail about what we're going to set them up as. And we'll just keep it moving. Sometimes I call them Zubat, but we're not worried about that this time. You always want to keep 2 pets in your party. You can only have 3 selected inside of your group, but 2 of them directly help you in battle.
What?
So we're going to go ahead and use a Slink if we have it, which we don't yet, but we'll use it in 1 second. And just so if you're wondering, the pets that Riku and Sora use are both the same, and you can swap back to them back and forth, so you don't have to worry about that. The same Dream Eaters that Sora has is the same one that Riku has. So early on in the game, the Dream Eaters will get substantially higher levels than you, but that's completely normal. That's supposed to happen, and that's just how it goes. That's just how the game is designed. And of course, they have a bunch of cool flashbacks. You can look up different things like that and check out the glossary. But like I said, we're just here just to do the pretty straight walkthrough. Just how to complete the game with like a little bit less stress. So I do believe we switch back to Sora. You can drop between characters. In this game, you'll be alternating between Sora and Riku to progress through the story. You can go to basically, you go to start mode, or you go to menu, hit triangle, it'll drop you. And that's it. You just pause the game, drop. The drop gauge continues to increase while you explore the field. Sleep and other negative statuses will cause your drop gauge to drop more dramatically. After bonus time ends, you'll drop to the next character, but there are items that you can use to extend that time, but you got to be careful, because if you fight a boss and you don't make sure you have enough dream drop left or whatever, or your drop meter's not high enough and you don't have that item equipped to your actual character. I've had times where I'm about to beat the boss, I dropped, switched to Riku, came back, and I had to redo the boss from scratch. But don't ever worry where you drop at, is where you will exactly pick up back where you were at before. So we're going to Spirits. And as you saw, we have that Dream Meter from Riku, so we're going to go ahead and equip him as well. And we're going to move back here. We're actually going to go ahead and see if we can create another spirit. I'm not too for sure or not. I don't think we have enough, so no, we're not going to worry about that right now. Like I said, you can always go in and pet your pets and play with them and stuff like that to get their stats up, but we're not going to really worry about that until we get to the next world. But we're going to go to Ability Link, see if we got enough points in the Zubat. Not yet. So he needs 10s for Wake and Dream. We're not going to worry about that. Let's see here. So we got to go through the next district. So as you saw, we used that mechanic to open up or unlock District 1. So there are things like that in the game. Your pets will have a question mark or a name to let you know what's going on. You just interact with the environment, then it allows you to progress onwards. You will have to use that in certain points in the game. There's the mailbox. And we're just going to go ahead and hop in there. This point, or this early on, was actually quite annoying when I first got in here, because I was very bad at the movement controls and I really didn't know how to utilize everything. But if you want to spend some time just using the action commands and getting used to everything, there's nothing wrong with it. Exploring a lot of the areas in this game does yield good results, good items, so it's never a bad thing. A large chest usually has something that you really want to get. And like I said, square circle will get you up to levels where you need to go if you need to climb. There are enemies in here, I do believe, but we're just trying to get around so we can get a couple of these chests, and we're going to keep it moving. The items do help early on. Later on, it's not really. It's also, what I found is, like, I never really use the items, so if you get some nice items, you can use them for when you create your pets and stuff like that to get them extra stats, or you can just sell them and get money. Like, I never used elixirs through my first playthrough, didn't see the point, so I just basically sold them so I can get money and buy the things that I did want. So we got another potion, which is good. I do believe we have Cure already, though. Let me go ahead and go to my command deck, edit. And, no, we don't have Cure yet. I think we need a couple more points on Derpy, and he'll be able to provide us the basic Cure. And I'm just looking up. I'm trying to remember exactly when we just went to that area, so. Just come around here. There we go.
Yeah. There. Ha ha. Ha. Ha ha. Fine. Yeah. Yeah. Ha. Hey. Yeah. Ha.
And usually when abilities are on cooldown, the best bet is just to use the action commands against the wall until everything comes off cooldown. And that's your best bet to, like, you know, avoid yourself from getting hit from a bunch of things that will basically just full life to zero you in an instant. Okay. This is the one thing I wanted to do before we leave this area. And let's see if we can get it over there. There we go. Rampant Fantasy, which comes in handy. Now, you can use that staircase over there to get up, but like I said, I'm so used to controls that I can kind of just guide myself to where I need to go. And it's all the way up there. I'm trying to look here. Where is that at? There's the green. I know I'm not going crazy, I think. I do believe we need to get ourselves on that green platform right there. And that should be the way out. The green one will take us where we need to go, and also there is a challenge note over there, one of the pink spirits, which we'll grab on the way out. Alright. And that will take you to the next area. However, I want to get here, pick up the Troubling Fantasy, and also do this little quick. Now, take damage no more than 2 times. Whenever you have something that basically has it where you're not supposed to take damage more than a certain amount of times, your best bet is just to abuse the wall mechanics. Sorry, I took 1 hit. Hopefully nothing silly happens. This should be pretty straightforward, but he could get in a lucky hit or something like that. But as long as I keep bouncing off the walls, they have a very hard time hitting me. And we failed the challenge. But it happens. You can always come back to this area later and try to repeat the challenge and stuff like that, but it happens. So I got hit at extra time. Sometimes it's kind of hard because, like, for the ones that you got to do where you don't get hit, you zone in and you, as soon as it starts, you get hit. So it's not much you can do about that. You know, prize point 40 AP. Other prizes, Troubling Fantasy, which came, and we didn't get the bonus, which it's okay. And of course, we got a recipe for the panda, which is actually one of the best ones in game, in my opinion. I actually beat the game with that when I first played through. Very good pet to have. And we'll just go up here, pick up the special chest. These are the big ones you definitely want to get because these have nice items like that. It Attains a Spark, so we can either add it to our command deck. So instead of Quick Blix, we can just go ahead and use the Spark, summon a ring of revolving light crystals that deal damage to enemies. If you wanted to go ahead and use that one, or we can just basically sell it for money. So just make sure you pick those up. But we're gonna go ahead and keep it moving and get out of this area. But if you want to spend that time and really fully explore that and kill the monsters or just level up, you can leave that area, then go back into it and keep fighting the monsters over and over again. Alright. And of course, like I forgot to mention before, if you'd like to lock onto a target, you just simply hold the R1 button and you lock onto the target until it's gone or until it's dead, until you kill it. Alright.
Yeah, yeah, ha! Ah, ha! Hey, yeah, yeah! Ha! Yeah! Fine! Ah! Yeah, yeah, yeah! Yeah, ha, ha!
The sheep are also a very good pet to get early on in craft.
Yeah, yeah, ha! Ha! Hey! Fine!
There we go. We also have a challenge note up here.
Ha! Ha! Ha ha! Yeah! Ha ha! Ha! Oh! Oh!
Oh, it's not. Let me hop up. There we go. Alright. So pull off 3 flow motion attacks, which is very easy to do.
Sora! Oh! There! Ha! There!
So we accomplish a mission, and we'll get the bonus. Gotta be careful about my potions. Don't want to use those at least until I get Cure from Derp.
Yeah, yeah!
That's it. Alright. We got an ice stream cone, which is good. And we'll just keep it moving.
Yeah! Ha! Fine! Yeah! Ha! Yeah! Ha! Yeah! 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 Hey! Ha! Yeah! Ha! There! Ha! So long! Ha! So long! Ha ha! Yeah, hey! Yeah!
I think that's all of them, yep. Okay.
There! Yeah! Hey! Yeah! Ha! Back off! Yeah! Yeah!
Oh. Shouldn't have hit that. There we go. Achieve victory in 20 seconds less. We should be able to do this. Actually, I do have a link system. We'll be able to do this. There he is.
Yeah! Hey! Ha! Ha! Hey!
There we go. And of course, the more star difficulties it is, the more, or the more stars, the more difficult whatever the thing they need you to do is. Alright. That was very easy.
Ha! So long! Ha! Ha ha! Yeah! Fine! Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!
There we go.
Yeah! Yes!
Oh, used the potion again by accident. That's alright. We'll go ahead and skip this. You could play Flick Rush. I never played that game because I'm not a big fan of side mission stuff or side game stuff, but that's something you could definitely do. It's up to you.
Yeah, yeah, ha. Yeah, ha. Yeah, ha, ha. Back off. Yeah, 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 fine. Hey, yeah, ha. Ha. Hey, yeah. Ha.
And he dodged.
Ha. Yeah. Yeah, hey, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I think that's about it. And we can save if we want to, but we don't have to really have to worry about that. Oh, it's good to know. I had it on the wrong game. Kingdom Hearts 2.8 Final Mix. There we go. So this is a boss fight. We got 3 potions. We should have more than enough to be able to defeat it and do fine. You can kind of just get into his face. If you got a couple more potions, you didn't waste the ones like I did, you kind of just tank and spake him and really not worry about it. You can use the environment. That's what I do recommend, because that works pretty well. And makes your life a lot easier. We're going to heal, and then we're going to use the L2. This is what we've been saving for. We wanted to use our link attack by our little buddy guy here. We can't take damage while this is going on. So usually I like to save him for the bosses, or if I got him charged up pretty often, I use him in certain fights. Okay, we're gonna go right in, and then also... Uh-oh. Heal up. Where is it? There he is.
Together.
And then we just use the Bat's ability for the Fly By Night.
Ha. Ha. Go on. Yeah. Hey. Ha. Ha. Back off. Ha ha. There. Yeah. Yeah. Ha. Fine. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And we got knocked out. 1 second. Okay. Retry. We'll use our action attacks more this time, because it does give us frames of invulnerability. You really don't want to try to fight him straight up.
Together. Together. Ha! There! Yeah! So long! Ha! There! Yeah! So long! Yeah! There!
And that's it. Got a little bit too non-respectful towards him, but for the first boss to really just beat him very straightforward, it's just using the environment, using the frames of invincibility to bounce off the wall and attack him. You can level up Derp's Cure so you can unlock his next ability for Cure and add that to your deck list so you can have Cure, which is a constant heal that happens over and over and over again. Because like I said, when you use potions, you're limited by how many you can actually have. So I actually wasted a couple potions early on. It happens. But like I said, that's where you really want to get the Cure unlocked on Derp so you can have that on your deck list so you can keep curing and healing yourself over and over again. Because most of the bosses are no problem as long as you have enough heals. Okay. So now that we're actually on the world map, we're just going to go ahead and hit triangle so we can drop, and we're just going to go ahead and switch over to Riku. Let's see, air bursts drop points. When you drop, a screen will appear. You give your next character a bonus and stuff like that for the droplets. So we're going to give Riku the attack gain, the magic gain, and air recovery. And now we're going to knock out traverse time with Riku. And of course, if the first boss gives you a little bit more problems, the only thing that you need to do is just level up a little bit more, and that's not a big deal. You can go back and forth between certain areas, work with your pets, level them up, and then you won't have anything to worry about. Alright, and that's it. We need to definitely equip Derp with us, because we want to make sure he's getting experience in fights as well, too. Since the pets that we have will be switching back between Sora and Riku. Okay. Let me see here. I have no more potions left. We're gonna go to Spirits. Change party. And there's our buddy. I'm not gonna worry about. Well, actually, we're gonna actually take a look at Derp real quick. Because, like I said, he should have enough points by now to actually get. There we go, Cure. So I could have gotten this before the boss. I probably should have, but now that we actually have Cure unlocked, that actually makes a hell of a difference. So we'll go to Ability Link. Link and Dream Up. And then we got Confused. You can use that as the spell. I really don't care for it. My major thing is, like, early on is just to make sure I get that Cure for my deck list, because then I don't have to worry about potions. So this will probably be the last time, or this will be the last time you ever see me use potions again. It's just going to be pretty much cures and what have you not. Alright, so we got to go ahead and track down Joshua and beat. And like I said, you want to fight every single enemy that you come across.
Sorry.
Okay, this guy's your best buddy because he sells you a lot of different items. Like, eventually we'll be able to buy cure and higher up stuff. So even if you miss certain things in certain environments, you can always, like, as the game progresses on, head over to the shop, buy what you need in terms of, like, magic and different abilities or fragments, and you keep it moving. Like I said, they got your magic commands you can get. You get items and stuff like that. Action commands you can pick up, which is very helpful. Dream pieces, and of course recipes and all that good stuff. So that's what I usually do with items that I'm not using for my pets and things of that nature. I usually just use them to boost them up, or I'm sorry, I usually sell them and use them to get other items that I need. Now I can go ahead and borrow these spirits, but I'm not really worried about it. So we'll just keep moving through here and killing what's along the way, and finishing Traverse Town with Riku. And we have to go to the right. Also, when you're bouncing between these areas, you can hit square between like different corridors and walls to give yourself a speed boost. But like I said, if you've been practicing your movement abilities, you should kind of already notice that by now. It does come in very handy towards the end of the game, because you'll actually be able to utilize that to dodge a lot of different attacks. And I'm actually... Achieve victory in 20 seconds or less. I think we can do that. That's it. So like I said, using the environment sometimes does help out a lot when you're doing different challenge modes or things like that. Alright. Let's see, make sure we need to know where we need to go. And I do remember we actually don't need to head this way, but that's fine because we got a little bit more experience. We knocked out the monsters that we needed to. I do believe the correct way we need to go to is back out to the which way we just came. One thing I did forgot to mention is that when you play as Riku or Sora, certain maps layouts, since they're both in different, they're in the same world but different dimensions of the world, I guess, if you want to say. The map layout for Riku for certain things is going to be different than what Sora deals with, and both guys will be able to go to certain areas that the other one can't initially. So Sora might have a doorway that's blocked with, like, let's say, I don't know, boxes or something. But when you play with Riku, the same area will not be blocked by boxes. It will simply be blocked. It won't be blocked at all. And then the way that you went with Sora, won't be open to Riku. Like, remember when we worked through with Sora, that mailbox had a hole open through it, then we went through the underground? Riku unfortunately doesn't have that, but he has his own set of objectives and places that he needs to go. Oh. There we go. So as you see, Sora couldn't go through his way because boxes were blocking it, so now we're going this way. And like I said, never hesitate to use the environment to get around quicker. If you want to skip these monsters, of course it's up to you, you can, but as you saw from even the first boss, unless you really know or you have a certain strategy to beat them, I would always say it's just better to kill the monsters that you come across, so you get the more experience and all that. So you don't have to spend. Also, we'll get the experience and stuff like that, and the stat boost from leveling. But so you don't have to sit at the end of the game and just have to level up at a certain place forever just so you can get your character stronger. You don't really want to go through all that.
Take this.
Now, when you're boosting off the walls like that, just so you can get distance or zoom ahead, you gotta make sure you press the square button again so you can zoom ahead and you have to hold it. So you would hit the wall with the square prompt to start the action command prompt, and then you hold the square in the direction that you want to go. At first it's a little bit weird, but you get used to it after that. Or what I like to do is actually just keep spamming the square button, and that works pretty well for me. Oh, I messed up. Luckily, I know how to climb the wall, because I played the game a lot of times. My first playthrough through, I couldn't do that well, because when I got thrown up, I had to run all the way back, because I didn't really know how to climb with using the action commands.
Yeah.
Alright, great. So we got Thunder. Thunder's not that great, but we can use it to sell it or for something else. So, we need to go this direction. Yeah. There we go. Alright, let's see what this objective is. Achieve victory without using the triangle commands. This is not too bad. The only thing you have to do is just simply utilize the action commands, and it's pretty straightforward. Luckily, this is not the one where you have to avoid a certain amount of attacks. So usually to keep it safe on ones like this, I simply just keep bouncing off the wall using the ash command, and it's very straightforward. Easy peasy, and we got the challenge complete with the bonus. Okay. In this next room, there's a whole bunch of enemies inside here. We'll just knock these out real quick. Okay.
Yeah. Take this. Yeah.
And another potion so we can sell or do whatever the hell we want with it.
Take this. Yeah. Freeze. Yeah. Yeah.
Alright.
Heal.
Well, we're gonna go ahead and save. We'll just keep it on save file number 10 for the fresh file. I'm gonna use a command here. There we go. And then we do have a challenge spear right there. The spears will return home. We don't really need to worry about that since that's all that happens.
Yeah. Sorry. You're done. Yeah. Take this. Freeze. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. You're done. Freeze. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, we still got one more. We missed one. Okay. Should be some enemies in the fountain in the front and the back.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I do believe we'll be on the next page where we needed to go.
Freeze. Heal. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Take this. Yeah. Take this. Yeah. Yeah. Ha. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. Freeze. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Alright, we'll go ahead and save right here. Where is it at? There it is. The really thing I'm just looking for is another cure. I do believe in the next we'll be able to buy our first cure from the NPC, which is great because we want to have at least about 2 to 3 cures. Makes it a lot easier. It's not so much about the earlier boss battles. We have to be very precise in what you do. You can kind of just tank and spank stuff.
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh.
Sorry.
And of course, this will be a lot easier than the first time we fought Sora, because now we actually have cures and stuff, so we don't really have to worry about too much. There we go. Now, what we can use is use our ability of our pets. With Riku, he just kind of gets like an extra damage attack. It's not like Sora where they actually use the ability of the monster, so Riku is a little different in that sense. He uses his pets to power himself up. Go. Birdius. There's the other hand. Alright, so the main boss should reappear. And he's knocked out. And as you can see, it makes it a lot easier when you use your links with Riku, because it's just... Well, at least for this boss, because he actually goes aerial and his attacks have a larger range. And then as you see, the prompt came up. And we're just gonna line it up and just throw him. I think I threw him up a little bit too high. Well, I guess we'll have to go up to him. Well, there he is. There we go. And that pretty much does it for Traverse Town. So we pretty much got all the basics of the game established. We kind of know what we're kind of do. We're not really running from every single fight. We're doing all the fights, all the challenges that are pretty straightforward. And that's just to make sure that we get a decent amount of experience while we're moving throughout the game. You could skip a lot of monsters if you know what you're doing, but even with killing every single set of monsters that you come across and not running past any of them, you are pretty severely under level when you hit to the next area. Or, I'm sorry, when you get to the end of the game. You will, the game recommends 42, or I think anywhere from 40, 42, maybe even 45 to beat the game, but I remember I beat it around like level 37 Riku, level 34 with Sora, just because we had plenty of good skills to use, Kiragas and stuff like that, and it was pretty straightforward. So, if you guys are watching on YouTube, that basically wraps it up for Riku and Sora in Traverse Town, and then basically for the next world, we're going to start off with Sora. And we're going to start off with Las Cites de Clutches, which is basically Quasimodo's world. So we will see you guys in the next